Hi everyone, and welcome back to Waterhouse Forde. Well, the world has become a very strange place in the last few weeks, as I'm sure you're all aware. Here in the UK, we've been in sort of a semi-lockdown since Monday night. It's currently Saturday, the 28th of March. We've been obviously at home. We've been encouraged to stay at home and only to go out to get food and medicine and all that good stuff. I'm sure most of you are aware of the restrictions in place. But it certainly is a strange time, isn't it? So from all of us here at Waterhouse Forde, I just hope that all of you and all of your family, all of your loved ones are safe and healthy. And we just want to reach out to all of you and to send you our best wishes, and obviously hope that together, right across the world, that we'll be able to get through this thing in the next few weeks, maybe months, but nevertheless get through it. In today's video, I'm continuing with the ride-on mower. First thing we're going to do is service the engine. We'll get all the carburetor off, we'll get it clean, we'll replace a couple of gaskets, that sort of thing. Replace the spark plug, change the oil, fuel filter, air filter, that kind of thing. Relatively straightforward. Yeah, I hope that you enjoy, follow along as we, hopefully this is the kind of thing that interests some of you. And yeah, I mean, again, I'll just show you what I do. I'm not the world's expert on these things. I'm kind of finding my way as I go, but I have been working on this machine for the last 3 years. And yeah, I've gotten to know it a little bit through over that time. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and here we go. So here we can see this is the old plug we've just taken out. Actually, that looks absolutely fine. You can see a nice brownish colour on the top there. No excessive carbon. And given that this thing's been in there for a year and has worked pretty hard, I'm actually quite happy with that. The other interesting thing to note, the gap. So I've got this gap set at 25 thou, and looking at that, that actually feels still very good. Here's the new plug, the replacement plug. Just get that in focus. And again, just checking the gap. Very happy with that at 25 thou. So we'll pop that in, and that'll be that job done. Okay, the next job I want to do is to get the carburetor off and get that cleaned up. Now obviously to do that we've got to get into the air filter. You can see that's quite dusty. Obviously that's just the fine cover, fine filter. We'll get to the main filter in a second. Now this filter, I mean, visually it looks good. It's not too bad, let's put it that way. But nevertheless we have a replacement, so we will obviously replace it. Right, the first thing we do is just turn the fuel off. Get rid of this cable tie. And then we'll get the fuel pipe off. Might leak a little bit of fuel, but that's okay. Now we're going to change this filter as well. So we'll get that off. There we go. Right. So we can see, hopefully you can see this. There's the old filter. I mean, it looks okay. There's a little bit of discoloration in there, but we'll get that replaced anyway. Right, now we get the air box off. And that actually loosens the carburetor as well. I do have one more part here, which is the crankcase air breather. Okay. Right, now to get this carburetor off, we need to remove the linkages, which is a little bit, well, you just need to manipulate them a little bit as you go. So we'll pull that off. That one drops down. And now we should be able to pull this out. Let me just... That's the top one. And this one has to be twisted. That's the choke. Okay, there we go. Right, there's the carby. We'll get that cleaned up. We're going to replace this gasket. And we'll put that through the ultrasonic cleaner as well, just to give it a good cleaning. Now the other job, while we're here, while we've got this space clear, we're going to replace the steering arm as well. You'll remember in the previous video I talked about how that had become damaged, and we got a little bit of play in the steering as a result. So let's do that now. Okay. First thing we've got to do, there's a little clip in here, a wire clip that needs to come out. Okay. Now that should pop off. Right, now we move to the carburetor. Now when I'm working on carburetors, especially these little ones, I like to work on this is just an old hand tool. It makes sure that I don't lose any of the bits, but also it's just cleaner, so it helps me to maintain the cleanliness of the carb. Right, now obviously, what I've done, I've just given it a quick spray with carb cleaner just to get rid of most of the dirt. We don't want any dirt going into it unnecessarily. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by taking the bowl off. So we'll just remove that. And of course there'll be a whole bunch of fuel in here. Some of it's leaked out already, but so look, that's that's nice and clean. I'm happy with that. There's no concerns with that. Take the float out and the needle and seat, or the needle at least. That needle actually looks okay. Let's have a closer look at that. What we're looking for on that seat is any ridges. That one actually feels pretty good. And the seat is down in there, obviously. And again, from what I can see, that looks good. There's no roughness. Right, now we want to get this main jet out of here. Okay, so we've got a main jet, and then we have the feeder tube that runs up right up into the Venturi. They look good. Now looking at those, from what I can tell, all the little holes are clear, which is a good thing. And same with that jet, so that's good. This carburetor is really not very dirty at all. I mean, it was cleaned last year. I didn't replace the jet or anything, and looking at it now, doesn't look like it needs a jet replacing this year either, so we'll just run it through the ultrasonic cleaner just to clear all the little jets and holes and whatever. I'm not going to bother too much to take all the butterflies off, firstly because this one, you can see it's actually a permanent fixture. In order to get it off, you have to bend these lugs, which I don't really want to do if I can avoid it, because they're kind of a one-time deal. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. This one, which is the main throttle, we're just looking for any play in the shaft. That feels absolutely fine. A little bit of upwards and downwards movement, but that's nothing to be worried about. So again, I'm happy with that. Okay, that all looks good. That's good. I think I've got a new gasket for that. Okay, I'm going to run that through the ultrasonic cleaner, and then we'll put it all back together again. Right. Well, this is the Carb kit that I bought. I believe that's the product number, so 118550442/0. And basically, what it comes with the gasket for the bowl, a new needle, 2 new washers, and the pin to hold the float. So, seeing as they gave us a new washer for the drain plug, let's just pop that out quickly. Wow, easier said than done. That's very tight. Sure. Somebody's put Loctite or something on that, I think. Well, it's not leaking, so we'll leave it. Right, let's just open this up. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is get the main jet back in. So that's been cleaned thoroughly. That pops down there. and then the jet itself. Okay, that wants to be firm, but you don't want to over tighten it because you don't want it to be too difficult to take out again next time. You see, this is cleaned up nicely, the body is all nice and clean, and everything's still working the way it should. Right, next one is to get the float and the new pin in. Now they don't give you a new spring, so you have to reuse the old one. But that's fine, that just pops on. And then what you do is you pop that through the hole and slide it along. And that's as easy as that, basically. So that goes in. And pop the new shaft in. Don't know why they give you a new shaft, because these things never wear. Okay. Right, and we put the gasket in the groove there. And now I always like to put this piece here at the hinge. Now before I do that, we just need to test this thing, right? So with it upside down, I can blow air through there. You see it lifting the float, right? Now with it the other way around, it should block the air. Which it is. It's difficult to tell on the camera, I know, but you can feel it as you're blowing the air in. Okay, so we get that gasket back in. And what we'll do is we'll get a new fibre washer for this nut. Okay. Again, this needs to be firm, but not too tight. Now that I've got it on the body, let's see if I can get this other one off. And now that I've got something to grip on. Wow, that was tight. Let's replace the washer and pop that back in. There's really no need for that to be that tight. It just needs to seal basically, and of course with the fibre washer it will seal quite easily. So there we go. Right, now the interesting thing, the old gasket, I would have reused it if I didn't have a replacement, but you can feel the difference. It's just that little less supple than the new one, so I'm glad that we're replacing it anyway. Right, so that's it, that's the carb ready to go back on, and we will move on now to replace that steering arm before we put the carb back on. So this is the old steering arm coupler. Let me just get rid of some of this grease. Now this was damaged. I hit a tree stump, and twisted the steering, and this basically lifted. And you can see I've obviously managed to get it back in, weld it back into place, but it's not 100% lined up. This is the new one, and well, first of all, you can see it's obviously a lot stronger, actually, the way that they've done this. So they've actually now welded this box section closed, which is cool. That square hole, is obviously a little bit deformed in the other one, and right, now what we want to do is try and work out, actually that's taken almost all of the play out of the steering system. That's really good news. I need a proper hammer, but no, there we go. There's very little play in that now. Fantastic, really happy about that. Right, we'll just get this little pin back in. I'm happy about that. Right, let's get the carburetor back on. Okay, this is the kit that has the two gaskets, one for the back end of the carburetor and one for the front, which connects to the air box. And the part number has been covered over there, but you can see it here, 118550217/1. And in that kit you get both of these gaskets. Right, let's get this back on. Okay, so that goes on like that. Okay, oh, now we need to get these linkage arms back on. So this one was the choke. It goes in there, and the accelerator, throttle, yeah, okay, and then we need to pop that in. Just like that. So that one goes that way. There we go. Air box. And we can reconnect the breather from the crankcase and then pop the two nuts on. Okay, and then we've got a bolt that goes up in the back here. Again, you want these reasonably tight because you want everything to be air. You want the air seals between all the parts, but you don't want to overdo it because they're quite small nuts and bolts. You don't want to strip anything. Right, next job is put the fuel filter on. Now it's worth, well, you need to have a quick look. It'll be marked on here, the direction of flow. I don't know if your camera will see this, but there's an arrow pointing that way. So we know that's the in and that's the out. So what we'll do, we'll put that little short piece. Now it's worth noting, when we got this mower, it didn't have a filter. So I've actually added the filter in one of the previous services because, in my opinion, it really needs one, and in particular the environment that we're working in, where it can get really quite dusty at times. I'd rather that there's extra protection. Obviously you've got the air filter, which is the main thing, especially for dust, but when you're refueling, it's inevitable that you're going to get a little bit of dirt into the tank. You also never know where, what's in the fuel when you get it. So I always fit a filter, especially to a larger machine like this. Let's get over. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's that side, and then obviously this side we'll just pop that on. Okay, and that's a clamp. Right, done. Again, I'm not going to put the fuel on just yet, but basically you obviously switch it on there. So we'll get the air filter on, and then we'll fire up the engine, see how it feels. Okay, now the air filter replacement, that's 118550199/0. And that literally just slides over the top, like that. Put the cover back on. Get the nuts back on. Right, now I'm going to put the fuel on and make sure there's no leaks. Okay, let's get the oil in now. We have drained as much as we can. So we'll just put this plug back on. Now in terms of capacity, I believe it takes around I think it's 0.8 or 0.9 of a litre, so it won't take this whole bottle. So we'll put most of it in, and then we'll have to measure on the dipstick until we get it to where it needs to be. Right, we can see that's about half. In fact, it's almost exactly half. So we'll just measure to make sure. We don't want to overfill it. If we overfill it, then we have to drain some out, because you don't want the engine running with too much oil in it. Basically, it'll just try and blow it out the breather pipe, and you can also create a bit of an aqua lock inside essentially the sump, which you don't want to do. So let's have a look. We I need to let it drain a little bit, because that's showing as over full. So we'll just give it a few more minutes to drain. Okay, we'll leave it a little bit longer. It's saying it's almost full, but we want to be sure. Once we start the engine, what we'll do, we'll run it for a few minutes, and then we'll switch it off and we'll check the oil again. I always do that. With these engines, it's not that important. With like a car engine or a truck engine, you do want to do that. With these engines, it's less important, because this oil goes straight into the sump anyway. But I just do it anyway, because it's what I'm used to doing. Okay, well look, that's suggesting that it's almost, it needs a little bit more, so I'm going to pop a little bit more in, maybe about another 100 ml. Let's check. Yeah, we're down to 400 in there, left in the bottle. So look, I think I'm going to leave it there. We'll check it again once the engine's run for a bit. Okay, I've put the battery back in, and I've also reattached the spark plug. As far as I know, everything is ready to go. We'll just have a quick check. We know we've got oil in. We need to double check that again. Fuel is on. Air box is on. Okay, let's give it a go. I have to sit on the mower because of all the safety switches. Make sure it's in neutral. Give it some choke. So, look, I hope you've enjoyed that. Hopefully it's provided some guidance, some information, helped maybe one or two of you. Certainly been a lot of fun for us, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Cheers for now.